Hello, this is the Trade Site Stocks and Futures Market Preview and Domestic Economic Data Roadmap for the week beginning Monday, the 4th of March, 2019, ending on the 8th of March. Welcome to March. Here's a look at the ES front month futures contract. This is the daily chart of the broad market and futures form. We're still operating with that 13 seeker exhaustion sell signal that's in place. We're under the risk line from that. And look, keep in mind, we've basically been stalled out for 2 weeks since we got that signal at this point. Market's having trouble getting any higher at all off of it. And I don't know, at some point, if we roll over, should take us back to that red static trend line down there by 24.30 or so. So keep that in mind. Crude oil down a buck 47. Remember, this one bounced off of the 13 buy signal after hitting lows down near 43, but it's back into the 55.75 range. Gold down 21.60. Didn't quite get a 13 sell signal there. We were one day off of it, but look at this rollover since that point. S&P cash index gains 19.20. On the cash index, there's also 13 sell signal, and we're basically right at the risk line, but I think I'd go off of the futures as being more precise. NASDAQ 100 up 54.04. Got a cup and handle here with no signal in place currently. We'll see what happens. Stocks up 12.93. Biotech's up 76.07. The 13 sell signal here, if we take out the highs of Friday, is actually violated. So keep that in mind. Russell 2004 up 14. The VIX loses $1.21 to 13.57. I believe that's the lowest close since last October before things got a little exciting. Trend closes at 1.09. NASDAQ volume was 2.4 billion shares, a little lighter than Thursday. But right around just above the average that we've been seeing lately. A little bit better than it was in earlier February, at least. Earlier in February. Advanced decline ratio on the NASDAQ plus 914. So more stocks up than down on the New York plus 883. More stocks up than down. Google gains 21.97, looking to break out to 3-month highs, very close to it. Apple up $1.82. Netflix loses 78 cents. Amazon up 31.90. Tesla down 25.09. Facebook gains 83 cents. Not much there. Goldman Sachs up $1.50. It's been really flat in these markets, obviously. TLT, the 20-year bond ETF, down $1.36. And the Dow was up 110 points. There's also a 13 sell signal in place on the Dow. All right, let's take a look at the intra-week action. So I've got 10-minute candles up here. So you gap up on Monday morning and you come almost all the way back. Tuesday, you gap down a little bit. That fills the gap from Monday morning, and then you wiggle around a bit and you end up closing about where you opened. So there's no gaps at that point in the week left open. Then Wednesday, you gap down, you went lower. You came back up. You did fill the gap there, closed. Thursday, basically a flat opening and down a little bit for the day. And then Friday, we gap up, almost filled. At that point, after a very narrow range of 30-some points for the whole week, at that point, you were basically even for the week, and then you drifted up on Friday afternoon. NASDAQ side, pretty much the same story. Doesn't look much different, and not a lot of range there either. So it has not been the most exciting market for the last 2 weeks or so, and we're hoping to see that finally shake out. Obviously, I think if we get the rollover to the downside, that should be easier for making money. In terms of the economic data coming out this week, there are a few key points that can move the market, and it could give us some gaps at least. We've got construction spending Monday at 10 a.m. That's not a big deal. Tuesday, we've got final services PMI at 9:45, new home sales and non-manufacturing PMI at 10, and federal budget balance at 2. ADP non-farm employment change at 8:15. Trade balance, that's a big one, at 8:30. Crude oil at 10:30. Those are the weekly numbers. Beige book at 2 for the Fed. On Thursday, challenger job cuts, the initial and continuing jobless claims, that's the weekly number at 8:30. Natty gas at 10:30, consumer credit at 3, and then another big one on Friday, the unemployment rate with the non-farm employment changed. Housing starts and building permits all at 8:30, and then the Fed chair speaks at 10. So hopefully something in there will shake the market loose, or else something else globally, and get us some action better than the last 2 weeks or so. Charts, as usual, brought to you by eSignal. If you've not yet taken a trial of our services, feel free to do so. We will help you out for a couple weeks. Have a great trading week.